Wait a minute. That made me realize, does that make me the scuffed Ziggy D then? I don't know how much I like this anymore. I'm calling heads again. That was fine. I mean, we figured it out. Um, you might be muted, Ziggy.
Oh my god, I've been muted this whole time. Oh my god.
Quality.
There's a lot more for me to organize. Sorry, guys. Yep. We are moving into the picks and bans for race 2 here with Ventrua and DeadandDoom versus GucciPradas and SFHobbit. It's my first day, guys. Cut me some slack.
Yeah, I'm cutting you some. Being, you know, as the official scuffed Ziggy D, I'm cutting you some slack. Absolutely, don't worry about it. As far as I'm concerned, you're doing a perfect Havoc impression.
Because he did the same thing to me. Havoc did the same thing to me 1 week, so
absolutely,
it's pretty much the perfect impression right here. We're just role playing.
Yeah.
So,
pretty much.
With that in mind, or that out of mind, hopefully, we are going to be having the Team 1 ban. So, Team 1 ban. Let's get that Team 1 ban and find out what that is going to be. The Team 1 ban from DeadandDoom is Elemental Hit.
Wow, interesting. I really wonder if this is a serious ban or more of a curveball. I've been thinking about maybe testing out some Elemental Hit leveling, so I don't know. We're gonna be seeing if this is a serious one or if they're just because they could have chosen for the other team to ban first if they weren't confident in their pick or if they were just messing around. So
it could just be a flex. It could just be a straight up flex.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Elemental Hit is actually kind of strong, but it doesn't seem like a top tier ban. I don't think. We're seeing a flex in return though, as Team 2, GucciPradas, bans Infernal Blow.
Okay.
I think we're definitely seeing both teams mess with each other here.
Okay, interesting. I mean, maybe they are banking on the lack of mobility skills. No, DeadandDoom choosing Dominating Blow. Okay, we get it, guys.
We get it. Dominate. We won't be seeing. I'm sorry to say, guys, we won't be seeing any Dominating Blow.
I mean, they might have some sort of agreement here that, you know, they just want to display who is the real racer rather than some gimmicky, you know, BS, no mobility skill. Who wants to watch that? These guys just want to go fast, want to see what kind of record times they can set, and maybe they've been talking behind the scenes, and they're trying to line it up so that the losing team can still make it through the loser's bracket and fight them in the finals for a more serious matchup. I don't know. Might be some win trading going on here.
With the with the movement skills, it will be a slightly faster race. Maybe they're just trying to make sure we can have a 2-minute intermission between races instead of a 1-minute intermission. DeadandDoom, for his pick, is going to be picking, if I can find the right one. Whoop, whoop. There it is. It's not going to be Fire Trap. It's going to be Ground Slam.
Okay.
Solid choice.
That's a solid choice. I think so. A lot of people have been moving away from the cleave setups for their early Duelist and Marauder game and moving on to the Ground Slam. A lot more comfortable in the Act 1 with it. So, yeah, but no movement skill bans at all.
So everyone will have their pick of the movement skills. We could be seeing 4 Duelists, but the pick skills will definitely shake things up a little bit in terms of that. So we might be seeing maybe a little bit of shadow action depending on what the Team 2 picks are here. Team 2 picks are Roa and Sunder. I'm just going to find out which players. But we are having Roa and Sunder for the other 2.
Okay, so that will be Gucci and Hobbit playing Roa, Rain of Arrows, and Sunder.
Perfect.
Hobbit on the Rain of Arrows and Gucci on the Sunder. Okay, I'd say that's a solid choice. Hobbit being primarily the funky player. You know, he always messes around with different interesting skills and different ways of leveling and racing and participating in the shorter or longer events. So I can go with this, with Gucci being one of the top Sunder players or melee players, period, in general.
It's interesting that it's like Roa and just not starting off with the Shadow right off the bat, but maybe he was like, I'll practice the less likely ban or less likely early pick and just be ready for that and not wanting to swap at the end here. For Ventrua, we're going to see...
Oh, okay.
We got it slightly wrong. DeadandDoom is going to be doing Blade Vortex, and Ventrua will actually be doing Ground Slam. So let me just correct that real quick. The spelling is not going to be correct, but it's fine, guys. Don't worry about it. It's Ground and Slam.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. All right. So, does this mean that we will be seeing the Frost Bomb? So they're probably opting for the regular, pick up the elemental nodes early on for a nice Act 1 progression, with probably the... Actually, I'm not exactly sure if the Shadow player or the Duelist player will be the one doing the majority of the progression. Maybe they opted to go for two very powerful Act 1 setups just to try and get through everything as fast as possible rather than level up, because they know that they don't need to be that high of a level to be doing the Vaal kill itself.
I think with this setup, we're going to be mostly seeing each of the players just really trying to showcase their pure skills here, with nothing really being taken away from them here. I feel like everyone got the picks that they wanted, especially with SFHobbit taking Roa early on.
Yeah, considering the bans, I would say so.
The bans.
Yeah, dropping in the Flicker Strike ban and whatnot. Yes, this does seem just about right.
Less than 1 minute until race start here. All the players already saw some last-minute edits to the loot filter from GucciPradas there. So we are going to be having DeadandDoom in the top left there, rocking just his actual name this time around for a change of pace. Ventrua in the bottom left, making up Team 1. And for Team 2, we have GucciPradas up in the top right, and SFHobbit down in the bottom right. Maybe for future weeks, we could come up with team names. Maybe we could get some team names. Some creative team names, possibly, because Team 1, Team 2 is a little bit lacking.
I mean, it's not that bad. Ooh, Ventrua. Trying to log out. Come on, Ventrua. We see what you're doing,
banned.
Dude. Almost banned.
If you accidentally did that on the last second, you would lose a little bit of time for the relog. So, lucky you did that earlier. Gets to reset his position. Could come down to the minor things here. I think this is going to be a close race. DeadandDoom and Ventrua are off. A slight breathe in before Gucci, and SFHobbit starts right there. But we got seen an early chest armor pickup from GucciPradas. He's going to want to de-equip that. Who are you calling this?
I mean, I've been brainstorming. I'm okay with the Dead and Ventrua and then Gucci Hobbit. I think those work.
I like Gucci Hobbit. That particularly.
Gucci Hobbit's good. Yeah. DeadandDoom's a little bit, maybe. No. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The Gucci Hobbit. The other guys, I don't know. Their names are not very marketable, so we'll just leave it at DeadandDoom and Ventrua.
Ventrua and Doom doesn't work. Doesn't roll off the tongue very well, does it? But the Gucci Hobbit, though, I like the sounds of that for a team name right there.
Yeah, you would be a. You would like that.
The Gucci Hobbit. Perfect.
Absolutely so. Yeah, so we do have DeadandDoom on a Shadow, Ventrua on a Duelist, Gucci on the Duelist, and of course, having been playing the Roa past level 12, we've got Hobbit on the Rain of Arrows Ranger.
Ventrua leaving town with an inventory full of stuff. surprisingly. Not opting to vendor that for some extra scrolls. I would think at the start of a team race you'd want as many resources as possible, but that said, he is now a rich boy because he gets a transmute and a scroll of wisdom from the first thing he opens there, which is pretty helpful. You want those scrolls for the portal scrolls. You're going to need a lot of those.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not that big of a deal as long as you don't pick up that many things. Maybe they're only focusing on the blue items rather than like individual gear. They're going to be sharing currency to try to get whichever player is doing the majority of the work to have more optimal gear. So, and I think overall it's a lot easier to gear a shadow than it is to gear a duelist. Therefore, they're probably going to be funneling their stuff into DeadandDoom.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what strategies they come up with. We have some decent team name suggestions from chat. Venom or Venom for Ventrua and DeadandDoom, or possibly Ventrum. How do you feel about those team names? You don't seem too
not particularly marketable either, I would say. It doesn't quite have that tastosis ring to it.
No, it does not. I kind of like Ventrum. It's a bit like Zoom, so I don't know.
Okay, I see where you're coming from. Yeah, Pox would be a fan of this team name, absolutely. But we do have an early, again, the players are opting to, instead of the shenanigans with the portal scrolls, despite having them, they're instead opting to do individual hell rakes and just focusing on their individual gameplay, and most likely individually trying to get to hell rake as fast as possible. With GucciPradas and Stupid SFHobbit making it through hell rake, while Ventrua has also made it. DeadandDoom just now reached his submerge. He has the waypoint and is now heading over to Hellrake to pick up his Quicksilver Flask.
Yeah, I am surprised that we haven't seen any Team Hellrake kills, because if you do pick up that extra scroll, maybe players have just decided it's not worth trying to pick up that extra scroll at the start, because it is pretty...
It's tough.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult.
Yeah, having practiced this quite a bit in the past, honestly, if the stars don't align, it can be pretty tough, and overall, it's not that big of a boost for time itself because the players have to keep up, and basically it also forces you into a strategy where one player is running, the other player is farming, and therefore, if the player that's running ends up with worse layouts, as Act 1 is a little bit tricky to run optimally, they might be in a little bit of a pickle, and that's going to cost them in the long run now.
I feel like that's something I'd like to see people call on the fly, depending on if they got like a portal scroll of Hillock or something like that. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh yeah. Oh no, absolutely. That's definitely something. I'm sure the players have practiced. This isn't an easy decision to make. And it does show a level of confidence, honestly, because if the players are truly synced up together, it is the better strategy. It's just hard to pull off. So if you can do it and you go for it, it shows that you trust your teammate, you guys know what you're doing, and it will save you in the long run.
Gucci opting to kill the rare squid at the top of the bridge, getting a pair of white gloves for his effort. Are you a fan of the killing the rare squid if it's a rare squid?
For the most part, I run past it unless it blocks me in. But you know, it's a valid strategy. It depends on how you want to manipulate your RNG. In this
manipulating that
race.
RNG. Whew,
oh yeah, spicy. People think that it's very random how many times you hit the first zombie and whatnot. No, this is a matter of RNG manipulation. So sometimes you're going to be seeing maybe choices from players that don't quite seem justified at the time, but overall in the long run, they absolutely pay off due to that RNG manipulation, for sure.
Yeah, if you've ever watched games done quick, you guys have seen people playing JRPGs and doing certain steps to manipulate the RNG. The same thing does work in Path of Exile, little known fact, and these players are definitely at the skill level to be able to count their steps as they're doing this race. So everything here is meticulously planned and done exactly to order.
Absolutely. So honestly, so far, this has been an incredibly impressive race. Every player playing to the maximum, not only having quite decent layouts, but also individually just playing well. Every player entered Ledge in a incredibly respectable time. Most of the time, if you're doing this and if you're counting on the Act 1 RNG, you're going to be entering Ledge around, you know, 5 minutes and 40 seconds, maybe sometimes even 6 minutes. But every player has entered under 6 minutes, with DeadandDoom, Ventrua, and Gucci are entering around the 5-minute mark, while Hobbit, Hobbit's a ranger, so cut him a little bit of slack.
The old shrapnel shot is not maybe quite as good, but
right.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing a very close race here, hopefully, and so far that is the case.
Whew.
Things will shake up in
that
Act
being
2,
said, Hobbit hits a massive blue pack. Wow. Okay, that's definitely going to help out, as shrapnel shot is a little bit of a cleave, and I was about to say that he moves his gear around perfectly, but then he messes up, so never mind. I take that back.
Never mind. It is a 3-link shortbow, though, which is a nice little boost, being able to get both of his support gems there. The Onslaught and the little Mirage Archer on top, which certainly makes Ranger a lot better. Also, that Quicksilver Flask.
Oh my goodness,
Quicksilvers is a big deal for a Ranger. That is very, very good.
Well, this is interesting. So they do have a choice. Both players being past the waypoint, with Hobbit catching up now and Gucci entering a climb. We can see a interesting strategy from them. As Gucci is ahead, there is a possibility that Hobbit will be... Ooh, yeah. Immediately Hobbit starts killing less and less. I believe his strategy is to catch up to Gucci, enter his climb instance, and trade him the Quicksilver Flask to speed up his Brutus run. So he's immediately killing a lot less, just trying to get over there as fast as possible. Not a lot of people know this, but you can trade at any distance. Also trading him a Portal Scroll. Very smart. And this is also what I was expecting from a team that involves, GucciPradas, who pulls shots. That being said, Hobbit doesn't do any of that. What the hell?
I was getting excited, Rise, you got me excited, man. I was excited for some cross zone trading from the opposite end of the zone, but
it's like they're not even trying.
They're not even trying.
What is this?
Rise, you got me all excited there, man. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the usual strategy. Maybe they're opting to just do this individually. Maybe Gucci isn't so confident in his Act 1. Instead, he prefers for Hobbit to focus on his run, because there definitely was a change in strategy from Hobbit, where he was killing the majority of the packs, trying to get as much experience. But the second that Quicksilver dropped, he started running. So there's definitely some conversations to be had here between the players, and we'll be seeing if this pays off, or rather, if maybe now... Ooh, Hobbit drops low. Maybe now he's going to be entering the correct instance.
That was a very musical panic there. I enjoyed that.
No, still enters a separate instance. Maybe what happened was Gucci didn't have a Portal Scroll, and then he was like, gimme, gimme, and then Hobbit was supposed to enter his instance, but then Gucci found a Portal Scroll, so he's like, nah, I don't need that. I don't know. That being said, DeadandDoom is on a 9-minute and 25-second Warden's quarters. Pretty good.
Yeah, we are seeing Ventrua just hit up town now, so he's just going to do a little bit of vendoring in the meantime, getting ready, getting set up, getting ready to help out in that Brutus fight, which DeadandDoom will be entering in just a second. I'm seeing pretty good resource management from all the players. Everyone seems to have a Portal Scroll, having at least one so you can join your teammate. Very, very handy.
You recognize the frustration from Gucci as he sees the L run and moves his instance around and is already freaking out. But this is something that could have been mitigated if both of the players were competing on the same pace, with hopefully Hobbit catching up, as the other team is killing Brutus in a pretty nice fashion, dropping a Quicksilver.
Ventrua actually dropped his Quicksilver at the start of the fight, so that DeadandDoom could pick it up and run it on the Shadow, which makes a lot of sense. So he just used that Quicksilver for the early game. It's going to be leap slamming soon enough.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about earlier, with feeding one of the players who's making it through in a better way. I believe initially they started off with a strategy of whoever gets there faster, the better. But now that DeadandDoom has had a little bit of a lead over Ventrua, getting to Brutus and maybe getting a little bit better instances and packs overall, they are deciding that, DeadandDoom's going to be the runner. So Ventrua drops his Quicksilver and allows DeadandDoom to reach Mervo in a significantly faster time.
Very nice. So you think we're going to see Ventrua farming here, or progressing as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. As the other team is fighting Brutus right now, Hobbit Runs over the slam. Calculated evasion. 2 plus 2 is 4 minus 1. That's 3 dodges slam. Easy.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Wow. That's some good maths right there. Counting
Oh,
those
yeah.
steps and getting the evasion RNG manipulated. Very nicely done. We also saw a little bit of Quicksilver trading there, I think. I thought we saw something getting traded. Yeah, we do see Gucci with a second Quicksilver. So,
Yep.
like you said earlier, trading that over just a bit later than we expected. I'm surprised, though, that the Ranger doesn't keep the second Quicksilver. I would have thought that would be the case. Why is that not the case?
Well, Ranger overall is pretty good when it comes to reaching its mobility skill quite early because it doesn't scale as well with attack speed as something like Leap Slam does. So getting those levels earlier and getting a higher level overall in Prisoner's Gate, which is a great zone to farm. That's why people farm that zone over something like Prison, or excuse me, Ship Graveyard, which is a higher level zone. Overall yields a higher level, and then that way the slower class can go to the left side having had enough levels and time it better with the Fidelitas and Weaver kills.
Damn, I love the depth of strategy in these team races. Super interesting.
Absolutely so. Honestly, these are decisions that these players have to make on the fly. They might preset something, they might have an idea, but all of it so far, great communication from both teams. And when it comes to the team aspect of the race, honestly, they've been doing fantastic.
Ventrua has just really taken his time through Prisoner's Gate, even stopping to kill the unique doggo in there to just get a bit of extra gear. Like, he's like, I don't need to go anywhere, so I might as well kill this and see if I can get some extra loot.
Especially with DeadandDoom definitely making the shots, calling it that he is progressing very fast with a very short upper layout, ship graveyard. Honestly, this is going great. And you can also tell that with all the progression that he's done, he's reached an incredibly fast level 10, having entered Caverns of Wrath very early on, and that Flame Dash is going to make a massive difference, something that the players in the previous race did not have. You can see the sirens singing. He doesn't care about that. He Flame Dashes away. No problemo. Also, you can tell there's an exile, and DeadandDoom chooses to not. No, chooses to kill it in the end. All right,
Ooh,
that makes sense. That's something that. Oh yeah, those exiles, they definitely pay off. Being the runner, not every time you're going to be killing the exile. But if this would have been Ventrua, he would have absolutely killed 100% of the time. But this was definitely a decision from DeadandDoom that hopefully will pay off in the long run.
DeadandDoom's Flame Dash is just absolutely on point, like arcing around those corners beautifully, taking the shortcut there. He's really cutting things very nicely with that Flame Dash. Do you think we're like the Ranger players at a disadvantage opting for the Ranger? I mean, no move skills were banned. He could have also been a Shadow, but maybe been a little bit more limited on the main skill choice. Do you think it just came down to that? I mean, he had first pick.
Honestly, overall, I think Ranger falls apart when it comes to its mobility, but when it comes to the way you clear, it's pretty on point. It's basically cleave. So that's pretty alright. A lot of players, even if you do have access to Sunder, will choose to still play around with cleave, and the difference isn't that big of a factor. And also, a lot of Ranger players in general, when it comes to longer racing, are used to that cleave playstyle, because if you're going to be going for a melee build eventually, you do stick around with Shrapnel Shot, as it is the ability that most resembles cleave, or you play cleave from the very beginning. So I think this is just something that he's very familiar with, and so far it's been working out great.
Yeah, fair enough. DeadandDoom starting his Vaal fight, getting a fair bit of damage on there while Ventrua is doing the doing a little bit of defendering and such, sending that party invite now, and no reason to not, get Vaal most of the way down while your party members doing a bit of vendoring.
Oh yeah, absolutely so. And overall, they're also doing fantastic on levels with, I believe, DeadandDoom even being ahead of the on experience, which is super impressive with a 15-minute Mervo.
Tagging set perfectly in second phase, and second phase goes down basically instantly, getting a fair bit of loot from Vaal as well.
Yeah, you can tell that they've been practicing. We'll see if they adjust their, in my opinion, initial strategy of who's going left, who's going right, with DeadandDoom being the higher level so far. This is going to be an interesting choice over
Gucci
here, and
starting
it's going to determine the rest.
Too. And
oh yeah, wow, that's impressive. Gucci caught up real hard. That's super impressive, honestly, because both him and DeadandDoom have had pretty good instances and have played it pretty flawlessly. So to see that Gucci catch up so fast, that's great.
It took him a little while to get that leap slam up and running. I think he was a little bit under level there, and he certainly DeadandDoom had his flame dash running for most of the caverns, but Gucci only getting his leap slam kind of at the end there, so I didn't get to maybe skip through as much, but still managing to get to Vaal now.
Yeah, that's something that players need to take into account. Oftentimes, we're going to be focusing on progression, and that's something that initially you might see, and you're like, oh, okay, this guy is this far, and the other guy is not as far, therefore, the guy who's further ahead is winning. Well, not necessarily. Sometimes you're going to be cutting corners, sometimes you're going to be getting less experience, and if you're running through mobs, and if you're not killing as many, maybe you're not seeing as many blue packs, and you just don't have optimal mobs to kill, you're saving time when it comes to progression, but those levels that you're not getting will eventually catch up to you. So yeah, Gucci has caught up to DeadandDoom when it came to his Act 1 progression. However, he was a full level behind him. So that really goes to show that kill speed goes a long way.
Gucci getting a little bit more of an edge here to catch up with the Princess drop-off Vaal. That you using that as an offhand or just even a main hand here in the race? I know it's got that those offhand properties.
What skill did Gucci end up with for his main ability?
Gucci's going to be running Sunder.
Oh yeah, then that's the best offhand you can have in the entire game for Sunder.
It's pretty good.
That's quite impressive.
Short of him getting to crafting an Elder or Shaper offhand. That's gonna it's gonna be pretty good for this race for sure.
That's that extra 25 to 30 fire damage on his main attack makes a massive difference, especially since these players are focusing. Oh, got that. They used the guild stash.
I did see a little bit of stash trading action there.
Ooh, smart. Damn. Okay.
It looks like we already have 2 Quicksilvers from his Ranger Companion, though, so I don't know if he's going to be able to make so much use of that. You're going to run 3 Quicksilvers on a Ranger? Maybe. Like, you can get a little bit of use out of that 3rd Quicksilver.
No, you have to remember that Hobbit did trade one of the Quicksilvers so that Gucci could run faster. So now Hobbit's got 2, and Gucci's still keeping his Quicksilver.
Oh, did he just pick up that second one there? So that was just the trade back one? Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Man, that was really fast timings on those trades there, then.
Yeah, they're doing great. Honestly, this is a amazing strategy. We're going to be seeing here if the players are opting to make more of a rundown or if they're trying to get those levels. And yeah, in a Vaal kill, that's the serious strategy that can be very dependent on how many mobs you're seeing and on how well your other player is doing, because syncing up your kills to be able to use the least amount of portal scrolls.
Ghosted, hold the horse. Ghosted Fetalitis.
Okay.
For Ventrua.
Okay.
It's almost down though, but he's using ground slam. There's a short range on that. Gets the kill with the totem. Sorry to interrupt you there, but I had to interrupt you for that one.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. That chance to bleed did a lot of work. Might be only 25%, but Fidelitas running with that bleed, it died pretty much immediately.
Yeah, that was pretty lucky that it only happened in the later portion of that fight and not right at the start. So Fidelitas being particularly lethal, as we've seen in plenty other races.
Wow, this is really impressive. So far, honestly, despite DeadandDoom and Ventrua being a little bit ahead of GucciPradas and SFHobbit, honestly, both of these times have been incredibly impressive. Gucci picking up a transmute.
SFHobbit also picking up a pair of move speed boots at some point as well, so quite nice.
Oh yeah,
and
those look like starter boots.
Yeah, it might have been pretty early on. Missed that earlier, but that's certainly been helping out on a Ranger. You absolutely want that. Looks like he's got a composite bow in his inventory ready to swap into as well. Didn't quite see what the stats are. Might not yet be identified.
There is a little bit. Ooh, Ventrua and DeadandDoom getting a little bit lost with Ventrua not being able to enter his portal to fight the now tagged by DeadandDoom Alira.
DeadandDoom's been channeling Blade Vortex for about 30 seconds there, which is not how long it wants to be channeling Blade Vortex.
Yep.
Just thrusting away at Alira right there. GucciPradas going very low to Fetalitis, but manages to get the kill there. dropping his portal for his teammate to go
problemo.
pick up the baleful gem. And Weaver fight is happening simultaneously. That timing, though, oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
exact
This is
same
really great.
time on the bosses. It's exactly what you want.
Yeah, and this is what we're seeing here, but this is different from the initial races. You remember Garatha and Waggle had that Fidelitas sync up because you don't have to be present on the Fidelitas kill, but the other player has to pick up the Baleful Gem. So they had that sync up on the Bandits, while these players made the adjustments and have had their sync up on Weaver and Fidelitas, as did the opposite team of DeadandDoom and Ventrua, who are now fighting Kraken.
I'm going to be so happy if Gucci and SFHobbit's bandits sync up as well. That'll just be beautiful. It's going to be a little difficult.
Oh, Hobbit ran past the road. No, don't go down, Hobbit! Oh, this is going to be bad. This
Not
is already
the right way. No, we won't be seeing you syncing up, I don't think.
Oh, no, Hobbit.
He's lost.
Wake up, dude.
He's
Only
lost,
tears
man.
now. He runs past the road. A lot of players opt to run through the main road. However, most players can recognize the way you recognize where you need to go is the opposite side of the waypoint in Western Forest is the place where Weaver is, and then the same side as the waypoint is where Alira is. And you don't have to cut back on the road. All you need to do is cut to the right, and if you hit the road, follow the road, then you're going to be reaching Alira immediately. But Stupid Hobbits unfortunately runs past the road and ends up in a little bit of a dead end as he soon realizes and decides to run back. Oh,
is he going the right? Yeah, he has got the right way this time around.
There you go. Missed it by an inch.
Yeah, only just slightly up, and he would have saw the wall and known that he was going past it. So just only a few seconds lost there, though. It's not a huge deal, but one extra town run for Gucci, which is not exactly what they want.
Well, it was kind of a big deal, honestly, because GucciPradas, being the player who has run to the right side, has now had enough time to, instead of waiting for the TP from Stupid Fat Hobbit for Riverway's waypoint, he made it all the way to the waypoint and is now joined Hobbit for the Alira fight. So you can see some adjustments, but that could have been avoided if Hobbit had picked the right way to run Western Forest. And now you can tell that they're both running together rather than being TP'd in. Which is a little bit unfortunate because they're still going to have to tag Oak. So I think one player is going to be looking for the exit for the ruins, and then the other player is going to be tagging up that Oak.
Ventrua and DeadandDoom, neither one of them getting to the ball faster. They actually hit it at the exact same time, so they're just going to be both running then.
Yeah, they're splitting up, trying to get over as fast as possible, trying to kill as little as they need to, just trying to keep up that onslaught, and their double Quicksilvers, as DeadandDoom still has with Ventrua, primarily leaping, so he doesn't really need those Quicksilvers. Oh, okay. Unfortunately, Gucci got a pretty bad layout. They're actually opting to do this zone separately, with Gucci having the bad layout and Hobbit having the good layout. Will he recognize where he needs to go? All you have to do is go up, Hobbit. No, don't kill that. Don't go to the left. Go up. There you go. I think he knows where he's heading. Yeah, this is the right way exactly. With unfortunately Gucci having the worst layout being the left side, which is pretty much random where the exit zone will be. But despite that, they're both entering Vaal ruins at the same time.
I like how your commentary naturally transitions into backseating when you get when you're getting really involved in the racing. I love that.
Yeah.
I can feel your passion for the racing here as a racer yourself.
Oh yeah, some of these layouts, when you recognize them, you really gotta make a firm call on it, and it's very great to see Hobbit making the right choice here.
What I love to see is these adjustments on the fly players are making here, because they can't rely on things syncing up all the time. So being able to communicate well and adjust on the fly and make some kind of unusual decisions sometimes about doing things in a slightly different way. Like maybe in that case they could have been like, yo, I'm there, just like, are you there yet? Quickly drop a portal. If you're like on top of the communication, like, I'm lost in my zone, quickly portal me. Can save a bit of time.
Oh yeah,
there.
for sure. If you guys think we're talking a lot, these guys are talking way more. They're constantly communicating, constantly talking about the currency that the other players have, I'm sure Gucci is politely trying to explain to Hobbit right now how he has a Torah in his Vaal ruins and he loves it because it's his favorite master. All of this is happening in real time, and this is an adjustment that these players have to make.
What sort of adjustment do you make for Torah there? Gucci running, hitting the ball first there, it looks like, so he might be seeing some portaling action. No, he didn't drop a portal because he'd have to drop it before the ball, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I think at this point, as Gucci screams, "Do I drop a portal?" Hobbit goes, "No, I'm lost," and he's just basically leaving it up to Gucci. And yeah, that's, I mean, a 50% lower chance of getting a possibly good layout. Hobbit unfortunately didn't recognize early enough that his layout is the swerve in Vaal Ruins, which is generally also a longer layout. So yeah, it's working out. But we do have to keep in mind that Hobbit has a lot less firepower now than GucciPradas does with his Sunder that he can't use. Why can't he use his Sunder?
He has his princess in his main hand, that is why.
On the
left
for
side,
the attack
though.
Speed. Right, the princess has 15 attack speed, so he chose to weapon swap to leap. Awesome.
And we do have a Vaal kill for DeadandDoom Ventrua. Meanwhile, in the background, very fast Vaal kill, and they secure their win there. At either 27-20 or 27-25, not sure which one's exactly right there. But very, very nice and fast Vaal kill. And they'll be definitely moving on to the semifinals. Easy claps for them, for sure.
Oh, that's pretty impressive, honestly. That time, if you were watching the previous race, Waggle and Garatha had a pretty good synced up, nice time. But it was still 3 minutes slower than Ventrua and DeadandDoom here, so that's really impressive, honestly.
DeadandDoom was typing +1 in chat. Was he saying that he had a death there? I missed the death counter from him. Ventrua did not have a death.
He did mention packet loss. I'm not exactly sure if we didn't miss a death here. These players are quite low level, so it's likely, but I didn't catch it personally.
Yeah, DeadandDoom is saying he died to packet loss. I missed the /deaths, but I did see the packet loss comment in chat. So we do have a +1 on DeadandDoom Ventrua, but at this point, it looks like it's not going to lose them the race here because Gucci and Hobbit are more than a minute behind.
Well, that being said, if Gucci reads these layouts correctly, and he has a pretty firm grip on where he needs to go now in this cavern pyramid layout, there's probably still going to be beating Waggles and Garatha's time here, having no deaths, and Waggle and Garatha having 1, I believe, in the end. So that's an incredibly impressive time. Second best so far in this race. Yeah, if it works out.
Keep in mind, we do have that losers bracket, so these guys are still running as fast as they can here, trying to secure their chance for another shot to move on to the semifinals, and they're looking pretty good. They're looking pretty good to be able to play in the losers bracket here, I think.
I think they play great. Honestly, I haven't seen any mistakes. We do know that DeadandDoom is, you know, a master of the layouts and a precise play, but with GucciPradas on that leap slam, he's showing a lot of class here. Absolutely so. Reaches the ball, clicks it, which means that Vaal is nice and tagged up, and he's just waiting for it to pop up as Hobbit is preparing his gear for that single target setup.
Hobbit slightly ahead of himself there. Could have killed one more mob and leveled up once more before Vaal. Vaal takes a long time to activate, so missing out on the slight edge he could have gained there.
I think that's alright. That's something to be taken into account. Vaal will be dying very fast over here, as they do have a pretty powerful single setup. And yeah, it's a 2-on-1 fight. Unfair, but you know, Ray class really never is.
I think we'll see if we get an extra ad spawn. No, it's 2 ice phases, which oh, they're not. He's not going down fast enough though. Yeah, I think they'll get the kill. Yep. It is ads, but they're gonna get the kill. There we go.
Got it.
Very
Absolutely
nicely done, guys. 30-21 looks like the time for their shot at having another race to get into the semifinals through the losers bracket at the end of today. So we'll see whether they make it through. But a pretty solid time.
Well, I believe that guarantees it. I believe that would guarantee them, right?
If unless your math is correct. I think that's probably how it works. If they have a faster time than the other team, then that does work that way. Very nicely done from our players. DeadandDoom and Ventrua securing the victory, and GucciPradas and Hobbit will be re-racing in the losers bracket at the end of the day. to have another chance. They're not out yet.
Yeah, we'll be seeing how the last part of the race will be working out for the other team. But so far, honestly, this was an incredibly impressive performance in my book.
Very nicely done. Looks like DeadandDoom's final time there was 30:21. Very nicely done. We are going to have a short intermission before we move on to the picks and bans for Race 3. And we'll see you guys then.